Welcome back for another amazing episode of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise. I'm your host, Lois Kofi, transformational coach and plant medicine woman. Excited to have you learn today to be inspired and equipped on how to live your best health, your best wealth, by trusting that best innate wisdom that lies within. We'll be talking about psychedelics, microdosing, spirituality, shamanism, inner child healing, trauma release, and so much more. Grab a cup of coffee, enjoy, tune in, invite a friend. We look forward to serving you. All right. Happy 4th of July here in America. This is a holiday. I know we have a global audience. I just wanted to tune in really quick and say happy 4th of July. I know this is a big freedom day for those of us who observe this holiday, Independence Day, right? And I just wanted to share from my heart, as people celebrate this holiday and reflect on our freedom as Americans, and then just in general, the freedoms that we have in our world. I sort of wrestle with this because for me, true freedom is freedom from fear, freedom from over these negative thoughts, these inner critical things that just bog us down, basically a mental prison. And I know for me, I was so overwhelmed by thoughts for so long that it impacted my physical health. It impacted my cravings. It impacted my addictions. I became so addicted to fear and negative thoughts that I started running from my truth. I started creating a lot of stuff, a lot of drama, a lot of imaginary thoughts and experiences that really weren't necessary. However, I was living out what was going on inside of me, as within, so without. Hey, Jacqueline, so good to see you. Thank you. If you want to, feel free to comment below and I will acknowledge you here today. So I just wanted to bring up this topic as you reflect on freedom. What does that mean for you? I was locked away in my own self-imposed, by the way, I take full responsibility for this, a self-imposed mental prison, which then, as within, so without, I started reaching for alcohol. I started reaching for relationships, codependency. I started scrolling on social media for hours on end. And then I started even just seeing my medication for my thyroid disease slowly increase, my waistline increased. I gained nearly 40 pounds because of this mental prison that I put myself in. And I've started seeing and talking to people, during and even before the pandemic, I saw how many people were looking outside of themselves for the freedom, for the independence, right? If you break that word in dependence down, it's like we still are dependent upon so many things. If we don't have our basic needs met, that's not freedom. And there's a lot of people addicted to scarcity and living in lack and fear because of these thoughts, these mental prisons, these also childhood traumas, things that get stuck in our body. Our bodies have kept the score from ancestors 7 generations back on both sides of our parents. And so we carry this stuff. And if we're not conscious of it, we can really cause ourselves a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. And that's what I did. And so as I started working with plant medicine, as I started going within to do the shadow work, I started slowly rediscovering my truth. So for me, the real true freedom is remembering who you truly are inside. You're a spiritual being having a human experience in this body. And you are supposed to experience emotions, both positive and negative, right? The whole idea between freedom is to how do you neutralize the positive and negative and come from a more neutral mind. And then you're not triggered by what that person said, or you're not anxious in a room full of people, or you don't have the family drama because now it doesn't bother you anymore because you've released those old, maybe childhood wounds that are really causing you to feel the feels. And I'm here to say, if you can allow yourself permission to feel the feels, that's freedom. If you can find support and guidance, which could be from myself or someone that you trust and know that's a teacher of this kind of path and this kind of freedom, which is truly spiritual freedom, um, that can help you rediscover your truth. You just got to go through some murky waters first. It's like every flower grows through dirt. You can't have these beautiful, gorgeous flowers that are blooming or these beautiful trees if they didn't have roots that reach deep down into dirt, and then you pull the weeds of the negative thoughts and the inner critic. You pull them out. You look at them, you say thank you for the lessons, and then you let them go. That's true freedom, not suppressing them, not covering them up, not drinking over them, right? Although all of those are valuable lessons to lose, to learn from rather. And so just really, really imploring you to consider, where in your life right now do you not feel free? In your relationship, in your spirituality, in your sexuality, in your income, your home, your family. Just look at all of that and take stock and ask yourself, am I truly free, or am I codependent to that thing, that place, social media? You know, the first thing that you do when you wake up in the morning, do you grab your phone and look at social media, right? Your phone has control over you then, right? Or you're not truly free. So that's what I mean is instead of being dependent upon these other things, freedom is really lies within your heart, lies within your mind. It's just, you're probably going to have to pull out a few weeds. You're probably going to need to look at some of this stuff. And I really encourage you not to do this alone. And I share this today also a testimonial of a client of mine who decided to look at the weeds, to look at the dirt of her childhood trauma wounds around her father. And out of respect to her, I don't want to share the whole story, other than she had a deep, deep trauma that basically said she wasn't wanted as a child. Her father wanted a boy, not a girl, right? And so she was born into that deep, deep abandonment, rejection wound that so many of us carry in one way or another, right? And so by sitting with me and my partner, Emmanuel, she was able to go deep with sacred plant medicine and to bless and release that which no longer served her, which was that, we call it father wound, but it's also known as a masculine wound. It's a wound of codependency. It's a wound of abandonment. It's a wound of greed and control and like power, not being accepted, not being seen, not being heard. Many of our forefathers carried this wound, to battle, right? Even our country is celebrating a holiday is a little bit ironic if you think about it. But anyway, that's a topic for another day. But she was able to deep dive plant medicine in 2 different ceremonies and found the root of that trauma. And she had become reliant upon antidepressants, quite a few, and she'd become dependent upon alcohol to soothe that wound that was so deeply rooted in her that she just didn't know how to be in this body, in this world that doesn't often support us in really truly understanding with love and compassion how we can shift these wounds. So after just 2 deep dives, she's off most of her antidepressants and coming down safely with the help of a doctor, I might add. She feels like a completely different person, empowered, standing in her power and her strength, cleansing and clearing that which no longer serves her and seeing it differently, freeing her mind. That's the true freedom, is when your mind and your head and your heart are connected and you understand the roots of those weeds that we pull out from the dirt so the flower can grow. Now she's like a completely different flower, growing in ways that I'm just super, super excited about. So I wanted to share that testimonial with you today. to see if it resonates, to see if you know someone who's stuck in the mud, in the dirt, and doesn't know how to grow, doesn't know how to bless and release that which no longer serves. And they're open to plant medicine. They're open to sacred spiritual deep dive healing. You can reach out to me, connect with me, and I'd be happy to serve. We have a couple ceremonies coming up in San Diego, one in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So excited to bring this medicine to you. So if you know someone struggling with depression, addiction of any kind, we would love to talk to them. You can go to my website, microdosingforhealth.now.site, and have them or you schedule a consultation with me. Read up about some of the testimonials, read up about some of the opportunities and the free education that is also there if you check out the programs and the videos and the podcasts. So again, signing off for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, if you saw value in this episode of Healthy and Wealthy and Wise, please hit the share button. Sharing is caring. You never know who you're going to impact with this message. I also am having a 3rd year podcast anniversary relaunch, going into sharing spirituality, psychedelics, shamanism, microdosing, mental health, inner child healing, trauma release, with a bunch of special guests, giving away a free plant medicine ceremony, as well as microdosing coaching. So feel free to register and look at the rules to win. You may win some free healing and a free deep dive opportunity to change your relationship with addiction, with fear, alcohol, people pleasing, codependency, as well as helping you come down safely off of those pharmaceuticals, if that is your path. Thanks, guys. Please, again, hit the share button if you saw value. Until next time, here's to your best health, your best wealth, and your best wisdom. Bye-bye for now.